Y'all getting it next, boy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I don't want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold a record of pay-per-view.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I don't want to fight. But it's gonna be very difficult for both of us.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another early morning edition of the Boxing Voice. Depending on where you're at, it's definitely coffee and TBV. We're going to head on out, obviously, to Florida and the sunny state of the Golden State, California. Obviously, we're going to be talking a little boxing, news, rumors, and headlines, but this is more than just a rumor. This is Derrick James, the trainer of Errol Spence, coming right out, blatantly saying that Kell Brook has never faced anyone as good as Errol Spence Jr., the Olympian that MD never forgets to make note that he did not medal up, so there should not be as much hype. And come May 27th, we will find out who is right or wrong. We're going to head on over to the good doctor and get his takes before we dive into this one. Boxing MD, what's going on, brother? I know you want to sit in on this. We're going to head on over to the doctor, the Sunshine State. Boxing MD, what's going on?
Is that a fair statement to make? You have to be honest with yourself.
Well, when Ness, I guess, presented this topic to me, I didn't take in consideration that he was Golovkin was in the equation, because I was thinking, is Spence the best welterweight Brooks ever faced? And to be honest, there's an argument that Sean Porter, who I've said times is limited to the upper ceiling, has been proven as a tough fight and has given everybody a tough fight. So there's an argument there. But to assume that a middleweight, the best middleweight, a guy who Kell Brook had some success, won one round, then got knocked out in 4 rounds, is less tough than Errol Spence. I mean, I think it's kind of a ridiculous statement. But having said that, I don't blame the trainer of Errol Spence or whoever made this statement to say that, Ronnie Shields, because that's what they do. But again, trainers, promoters, and whatever are part of the propaganda machine to big up their own fighters. So if you really believe that Errol Spence is a tougher fight for Brook than Golovkin, I think that you, like Roy Jones said, you're drinking or smoking something, right?
Well, before we get to our other hosts in the Golden State, Matt, a.k.a. the hipster, Hunter, I would like to say that the trainer of Errol Spence is Derrick James, not Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields, in fact, will be on because he's a world-renowned trainer, Hall of Fame, without a doubt, the moment he, steps away, if not, has already been inducted. I'm not quite sure. But he's also in that Texas area, MD and Matt. And, I'm pretty sure he's heard of Errol Spence from when the kid was wearing Pampers. I know now that Jermell Charlo trains with Derrick James. So Earl spars with Jermell Charlo. Ronnie knows Jermell well because he brought him up from Pampers. Earl as well trains and spars with Robert Brandt, a guy that's going to be coming for a mandatory spot at Golovkin at 160 pounds soon enough. But we will have Ronnie Shields to give us his thoughts. In the meantime, let's head on out to the Golden State. Hipster, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I think this is an interesting topic because you almost have to ignore Golovkin, because obviously Golovkin is proven to be, he's a way more proven fighter, and he's just a better fighter at this point than Errol Spence. But if you, like MD said, compare it just to welterweights and juxtapose Errol Spence with Sean Porter, you can make an argument from the eye test, from a skill standpoint, that Errol Spence Jr. is going to be the best welterweight that Kell Brook has faced. Now, is he the most proven? Not even close. Sean Porter is by far way more proven than Errol Spence. Errol Spence, I think, is going to give Kell Brook his toughest fight outside of Gennady Golovkin.
Now, MD, let's just get some I guess, dive into this one a little bit deeper. Derrick James has gone on record and said things like this when Errol faced Chris Algieri, who had already faced a guy like Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao. And he said, Errol is the best technical fighter you're ever going to be in the ring with. And he'll prove that when he fights you. Does winning the fight over Chris Algieri prove the trainer's statement?
It gives it more credence. I don't know if you can say it's proven it.
Yeah. And he said technical, right? Because, I mean, whether at whatever weight class it is, like, I mean, you are really a fucking fanboy of Errol Spence if you think that Errol Spence is going to be a better fighter than Manny Pacquiao this early in the career to make a statement like that. It is like I know Manny Pacquiao lost to Floyd Mayweather. I know Manny Pacquiao lost his power, but like I think people really need to, I guess, step back a little bit when they're assessing Errol Spence, because he could be the best welterweight on earth. He could be a two-weight champion and move up to 154 and be successful there, but he still isn't proven yet. But I do agree. If you're saying technical boxer, I mean, Ruslan was not technical. Obviously, he was a tough fighter. He had flaws. And Manny Pacquiao, although is extremely athletic, a lot of people criticize some of his technical abilities, which I don't as much, but I see where that logic comes from. But I do agree with Matt. It does kind of give it a little more credence, though.
All right, let's get out to more facts. We're going to play the audio courtesy of iFilm London. Coogan Cassius, shout out to Coogan, good guy. This interview was conducted in the United Kingdom during the press conference or right after the press conference with Derrick James, the trainer of both Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence and Robert Brandt. Listen closely to get all the details and fully understand what he is trying to say. Let's not just get caught up in the obvious that he is trying to say that Errol is better than Golovkin.
It's quite boring before you started talking, if I'm being honest.
Well, think about this. I didn't do it. They did it. Because if you think about it, he said something about a Twinkie or
chocolate brownie.
Chocolate brownie. His trainer starts taking other little shots. So I came back and put a reality. Stop talking about your loss. You didn't win. We're not giving consolation prizes for that victory. Excuse me. See, that's how they talk about it, like they won. That loss. Stop talking about it. You lost. That's what I'm saying. We're not going to pat you on the back. Oh, way to go. You made $5 million. I'll pat you on the back for that. Are you serious?
So, specifically, it was the over-talking about Golovkin in the press conference that seemed to be an issue there?
Well, it wasn't an issue. It was just the fact that you have 36 other victories. Why talk about the one loss? And that's the one that you think made your career great. No. That was those 36 other fighters that you fought. That one that you lost, so you can lose.
Let's stop it there just to analyze that. It's true.
Well, it's misleading. I'm going to be honest, though, and it's misleading to say then that he said that. I mean, does he get later in the interview that he says that?
Yes, he does say it. Relax. I said, let's stop it there just to overanalyze, because he said there was a lot of overusing of Golovkin's name. We mentioned it yesterday during our evaluation of the press conference, and here he is saying basically the same thing. He's saying, why do you keep bringing up Golovkin's name? You didn't win. You don't get a consolation prize. You don't get a white ribbon. There is no second place. You did not win. You got 36 other fights. Why are you mentioning the loss to Golovkin to try to prop yourself up? You as a Golovkin fan, obviously you see that they're taking the angle to try to steal some of that fandom.
Well, it's not even just that. I think, it's funny that not only, we say sometimes like he has a consolation prize in lasting 12 rounds, right? Somebody like Brand, who didn't win a round against Ward, like, they were talking about like a moral consolation, right? With consolation by going 12 rounds and surviving the fight. How many rounds did Kell Brook last? Like 5 rounds, you know what I'm saying? So, and he won 1 round, in my opinion. So, yes, he's a bigger fighter, and that's what should have happened if you're a good middleweight. But, the daring to be great aspect, and I think is more relevant than even using Golovkin's name, because he's like saying, like, I've already faced the Godzilla, the monster, and you're not as scary and as a risk, right? And we have to hold Amir Khan to the same standard as well. If he goes, oh, I already faced Canelo. I had success against Canelo. And what happened at the end of that fight? You know what I mean? So I agree with Errol Spence's trainer to this point that moral victories don't really mean much. The victories, the W's, the actual success you have is more important in an actual sport.
All right, let's get back to the tape, see what he says further on in the interview. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, we're listening to the audio with Derrick James where he claims that Errol Spence is a better fighter than Gennady Golovkin, or a better fighter than anyone Kell Brook has been in the ring with. Later on in the episode, we are going to be having world-renowned trainer Ronnie Shields, who knows Errol very well. They're both from the Texas area, and now Ronnie used to train Jermell Charlo, who is now being trained by Derrick James, the trainer of Errol Spence. Getting back to the tape now.
Who's that up in the shuffle of those other 36? All I'm saying is, listen, there are no white ribbons or consolation prizes in boxing. I'm not going to pat you on the back for a loss, taking a challenge. What that fight did with Golovkin, because I'm going to tell you, as a fighter, you look at a bigger guy, you say, I can beat him. He's slower than me. I'm faster than he is. I can beat him. What he learned in the Golovkin fight is he's not as good as he thought he was. Because you don't fight a bigger, stronger guy if you think you're going to lose to him, right? You fight a bigger, stronger guy because you think you're faster than he is, you think you're more intelligent than he is, and you think you're better boxing than he is. That big...
I got to stop it there because, to be honest, I've always felt like Kell Brook didn't care whether he would win or not. $5 million is $5 million.
I don't honestly feel that way, to be honest. I think that Kell Brook thought he was going to win.
Do you think Amir Khan thought he was going to win?
Yeah.
There's no way Amir Khan thought he was going to win.
Like, I think Amir Khan's delusional. We have to admit that. Come on.
No, that's what I'm saying.
All people to think that a guy like Amir Khan could beat Canelo.
I mean, at least Kell Brook doesn't have a glass chin, right? Like, that's Canelo hits hard. I just think that there's no way Amir. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right, but again, people are saying like it doesn't matter. He took the money. Like, you cannot congratulate him taking the money. Congratulations, you won the money, like a cash grab. And I agree with Ness, right? I think that it was like, and it was a built-in excuse. He took a risk, but he knew that it was a tall order. He maybe he thought he could win in his mind, but maybe deep inside somewhere, like, you knew he couldn't win. I mean, these are human beings, right? Like, things aren't like miracles don't necessarily happen in the ring. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everyone has doubts. I mean, every boxer has doubts. That's a reality. But I do think that he thought he would win. And as a perspective of a smaller fighter who went up and fought a bigger guy.
Well, Matt is on location.
I mean, let me give you an
Matt is on location covering the Jason Quigley versus Glenn Tapia fight, so his internet is a bit choppy for those that are hearing him go in and out. What's up, MD?
Let me give you another example. Did you think you were going to beat Sean Porter in a sparring match? No, right?
No.
But did you think that by doing that, it was fun, it was good publicity for the show, and it was something that you could, tell your kids and your grandkids and whatever?
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing with Brook, and it's just the difference is that it's a financial incentive. He could say at the end of his career that I faced the lineal middleweight champion and I fought fearless and I made $5 million. So
and his other new statement is, I gave everyone the blueprint. You didn't hear that? Because I'm shocked that you're not going to say anything. He said
because the thing is right. It's easy to say that because you won a round, but the way that Daniel Jacobs won rounds in the Golovkin fight was entirely different than I expected him. He put pressure, and his footwork and his movement, avoiding the punches and using the ring, I think was not something that Kell Brook did. I think the way Kell Brook had success was step right into him and use quicker hand speed and not necessarily move back. So, it's not really the blueprint. But again, like, the only argument I could say that Kell Brook did show that he has faster hands than Golovkin, and so did Daniel Jacobs. I guess that's the only, analogy or correlation I could see between that statement.
Before I get back to the tape, anybody watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. But while you're there, hit the thumbs up if you think Errol Spence is taller than Kell Brook. Look at Kell Brook kissing his IBF title here, and they look very, very different in size. I mean, I would almost think this was Photoshop. Back to the tape.
Slow guy with those slow feet, slow hands. He can't judge distance or range because he was really up close from missing him. That big slow guy caught you and beat you. So what you learned in that fight was that you're not as good a fighter as you thought you were, and you may say everything else to the world, but you know that you lost to that guy. And then you saw that guy fight Danny Jacobs, and that guy looked just average when he couldn't land a big shot. So as I stated before, you learned how good you were not. So you better come down to 147 because you can't probably deal with the 154 pounders either.
Also, in that press conference, it was brought up about the best opponents that each fighter had fought. From your side, you know, you said it was Algieri. From their side, it was, as in a winning fight, was Sean Porter.
Yeah.
It was also argued that who would win a fight between those two, but it is quite all irrelevant because what really matters is what happens between Errol and Kell.
Sure.
So, like I said, is that you seem to have sort of done a little bit of, well, quite a lot of round collecting and knowing your stuff about Kell's opponents and their winning and losing records. Is that something you do for other opponents?
I just it was something that somebody sent me that there were facts about the fights. I'm all about facts. And Sean Porter and Chris Algieri are two insignificant issues. I never mentioned Sean Porter. I didn't even mention Chris Algieri, but I said that I told Chris Algieri that Errol Spence is the best fighter you ever fought against, and he had just fought against Amir Khan, and he had just fought against Manny Pacquiao. And I told him the exact same thing. Errol Spence is the best fighter you've ever fought against, and you just fought against Triple G, and you just fought against Sean Porter. So my visions are my guy. I'm definitely very positive about my guy. I believe in my guy. I know his skill set. I know his intelligence. And so I say that this guy is the best guy that he's ever fought. And he just fought Triple G.
Well, there you have it. Out the horse's mouth. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking Errol Spence versus Kell Brook. Is Errol Spence Jr. really the best opponent that Kell Brook has faced yet? According to Derrick James, the trainer of Errol Spence, that is the case, even though Kell Brook shared the ring with Gennady Golovkin. Later on in the show, we will be having Ronnie Shields. Matt, I say you go ahead and try to make that connection while we open up the floor for the good doctor to give his prognosis of the situation.
But let me tell you one thing. I have no problem with you know, even though I disagree with what Derrick James says, you know, in essence, because again, just the Manny Pacquiao thing, right? You could say he's a bigger risk at 147, but he didn't even say that. He said he's a better fighter. Again, I really want people to call in and argue that because I just want you to. It shows your fanboyism. It really does. That's like me saying that Golovkin's resume is better than Floyd Mayweather. Or, you know what I mean? What have I ever said? For the record, have I ever said that Golovkin is a better fighter than Floyd Mayweather? Ness?
You have not, but he didn't mention resume. He's just saying better.
Okay, have I ever mentioned that Golovkin is a better fighter than Floyd Mayweather?
No. Okay.
I just want everybody to know that because I've never said that because I'm not psychotic. But having said that, you know, I don't blame a trainer for saying that about his fighter. When you're trying to motivate a fighter, you have to say that you're the best ever. You're the greatest ever. You want to be confident to, I guess, rub the confidence off on your protege, the guy who you work with. I mean, like Derrick James and Errol Spence seem very close, and you have to have that close relationship when you go into these levels of fights. So, you know, I think Matt has the best.
Ronnie Shields, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
We are ecstatic to have you. We want to thank you first and foremost. I know it's early over there in Texas. We want to thank you for giving the Boxing Voice the time and the opportunity to interview you. We know how much of a busy man you are, being a world-renowned trainer and all. We do want to get your opinions on Errol Spence. Being as though you're from Texas, we're kind of crossing our fingers, shooting one in the dark and hoping that you've been watching this guy throughout his amateur career since you built essentially both Charlo brothers in the amateurs as well. Maybe you've crossed paths with Errol Spence back in the day, and we want to know just how good is he, because Derrick James has been saying some questionable things let's just get right out. He said that Errol Spence was better than Pacquiao, and he proved it by beating Algeria in the fashion that he did. And now he's saying he's better than Gennady Golovkin, and he's going to prove it by beating Kell Brook in the fashion that he would on May 27th. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, Errol's a really good fighter, but you know, until you prove it in the ring against the best and against the top guys, you know, that's when we'll find out really how good Errol is. I mean, Errol has proven himself so far, you know, and you know, but I don't think you can compare him to Manny Pacquiao at this time because you know he's too young in his career right now. You know, I mean, look, his trainer obviously has a lot of confidence in him, and everything he says may be true. But until it's proven in the ring, you know, I mean, I could say I'm better than anybody, but until I prove it in the ring, then, you know, I'm just speaking words. So, you know, and, you know, it's good to have confidence in a fighter like that. You know, you're supposed to, you know, because, you know, Errol has proven himself against the opposition, you know, that he's been up against. So, you know, I mean, you know, you can't doubt that. But until he fights with Floyd Mayweather and, you know, and all these other guys that Pacquiao has obviously fought, you know, then we don't know how good he really is.
Hey, Ronnie, this is Boxing MD. I appreciate you being on with us on this afternoon. Well, I guess I would say that the biggest criticism or critique I have about Errol Spence thus far in his career is that he hasn't quite yet faced a guy who I consider a puncher. And because of that, he hasn't having to prove that he can either take a punch or move his head properly. Would you agree that that maybe is, because he's obviously offensively, he looks great. Would you agree that that maybe is the area that is the most unknown for his career so far?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I was saying. Until he fights somebody with the stature of that Manny Pacquiao has fought, you know, I mean, we can't compare him to anybody. It's hard to say someone is better than someone and you haven't fought the opposition that the other guy has fought. You know, if he would have fought the same guys around the same time period, then, you know, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, well, quite naturally, Errol is this and Errol is that. But, you know, Errol is a good fighter, you know, and one day I think he's going to be a great fighter. I think he's going to pan out to be what everyone thinks he already is. But until you prove it, then it's just words being spoken. You know, you have to get in there and prove it in our sport. You know, you can't take this sport lightly, and you definitely can't take a guy like Kell Brook lightly, who obviously can punch, and obviously is a good fighter because he is welterweight champion of the world. So, look, it's going to be a tough fight. It's not going to be an easy fight for Errol. Although I feel in my heart that Errol is going to win the fight. I don't know how, but I just feel he's going to win it, whether it be a decision or a knockout. You know, obviously, you know, they're thinking knockout. And sometimes when you think that way, you know, you think you have to do that because you're going over to England to do that. You know, sometimes you put so much pressure on yourself. Errol can also box. And I like to see him do a little bit of both. I just don't think that he's going to be able to just run out and just jump on Kell Brook the way he's done all these other guys. You know, I think Kell is a different animal. And, you know, he proved it to me the way he beat Sean Porter. So, you know, and I don't think it's going to be an easy fight, man. I think it's a tough fight. But I feel in my heart that Errol is going to win. But I don't think it's going to be by knockout. I think it's going to be by close decision.
Ronnie, Nestor, Gibbs again. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Kell Brook's eye? I mean, Triple G broke his orbital bone. I mean, we know that similar injury happened with Margarito. Guys don't normally come back from that. Is that going to be tender? Can Errol possibly re-damage it? Is Kell Brook the same guy after losing to, you know, allegedly the most feared middleweight in the division?
And Ronnie, before you answer that, he's asking that with a medical student as a co-host.
Say it again? I'm sorry.
No, I said he's asking you that as with a medical student as a co-host, though.
Well, because I want the trainer's perspective, right?
No,
Like,
no, I understand now.
trainers have seen these injuries before. They're historical with boxing. So maybe Ronnie feels that eye doesn't hold up. Maybe Earl can damage it again during the fight. Maybe it's not fully healed.
Well, I can take you back just a little bit when Alexander Lara fought. He fought after Angola. If you remember, Lara did the same thing to Angola. And, Angola never really came back from that. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be, it's going to be something that definitely is going to weigh in on Kell Brook's mind, because, you got to understand that if Kell Brook, is thinking about that, if he gets hit on it and say it does swell up or something, that's going to be good for Errol and really, really bad for Kell Brook. But if it doesn't even play a factor in the fight, because you never know how these things heal up. That's the bad part. With Angola's healed up, but then again, he moved up to middleweight after that fight, and he haven't won a fight since. Well, he won a fight, but, he wouldn't win a big fight since. But, his never opened back up. So, but the opposite bone, that's a huge bone on right underneath your eye that, that you can't take lightly. So if they didn't give this thing enough time to heal, then I'm sure it has healed, because he definitely had to get approved by the British Boxing Board in order for him to take this fight anyway. So I think, they had a specialist to check him out, and I don't think Kell would risk his eyesight, just to take a fight. So I think he's going to be healed up, and I don't think it's going to be a factor in this fight at all.
So, Ronnie, I guess speaking more about Kell's size, not Kell's size. I would say Kell's size. It was rumored that like Kell Brook would maybe be the bigger fighter because he moved up to middleweight. He even outweighed Golovkin in some of the early, like the 30-day weigh-ins. But Errol Spence physically looks bigger and says that he walks around at about 170 pounds, which is.
He said high 70s in the press conference yesterday.
We're talking about 30 pounds away from where he needs to be at a fight night. I guess considering Errol Spence is, never having a problem making weight, is that something that you're okay with fighters being that far above weight? I know everybody's different, but is that kind of like, within your guidelines that far out of where they need to make weight?
Well, the funny thing about it is, I've had guys like that are real big, but they can make that weight. And I tell you this short story right quick. Edwin Rodriguez. When I was training Edwin, when I first started training Edwin, he was walking around 200 pounds, but he was a 168 pounder. And me and my conditioning guy, who's a nutritionist also, told him, he said, man, you're walking around too big. This is way, way too big for you. You need to, continuously be on your diet, And so I took Evan over to Monaco, and he fought in his tournament. He fought a 168 pounder, and it was two light heavyweights that fought each other. And the winners had to fight in the middle, which was going to be 172.5 pounds. But I told Edwin, after he won the first fight at 168 pounds, then 2 months later, we went back to Monaco and we fought at 172.5 pounds. But I told him after the first time, I said, you know what? The most important time of your career, you're not going to be able to make weight. I said, because, you depend too much on how you're doing things, at the last minute. And I said, one time it's not going to happen for you. I said, because you need to move up in weight. And he kept telling me, no, I can still make it 168. So we had trouble making 172.5. And he made it, but, barely. So our very next fight was against Andre Ward. And, again, he went back home and, did all the stuff he does and came back 200 pounds. And I told him, I said, Erwin, we got to really dig down this time. You have to stay on your diet. You have to continue to do this. Well, long story short, he didn't make the weight against Andre Ward. You know, the furthest he got down was 170 pounds, and he could not lose another ounce. It wouldn't come off. And I told him at that time, you know, and what I'm saying is, if Errol keep doing the same thing himself, at the most important fight of his career, he may not make the weight because he was too big coming in. And sometimes that happens to a fighter. Now, on the reverse side of it with Kell Brook, yeah, they built him up to be big against Triple G, but it hurt him. It didn't help him because he lost his speed. He even lost power because of that. You know, they put muscle on him, which made him slow. You know, you can't put muscle on a small guy and expect for him to come back down and be the same guy he was growing up, you know? So I think they made a serious mistake when they put too much muscle on Kell Brook. Now, he's going to make the weight, but I obviously think it's going to hurt him more than it helped him because this fight is a welterweight fight. They probably never thought about him coming back down to welterweight. But obviously, since he lost and the way he lost, he had to come back down to welterweight to defend the title. So, you know, I think it's going to hurt Kell Brook more than it's going to hurt Errol Spence.
Wow. Well, MD, I know you got one more. Do you or no?
No, I mean, it's your turn to ask the last question.
Well, you're obviously picking Errol Spence.
Well, and Ronnie, I will say again, we appreciate you for giving us your time. You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
Great
no
man.
problem, man. No problem.
But you know what? You also know Rob Brandt and you know Jermell Charlo. These are the guys that are sparring with Earl to prepare him for Kell Brook. Last, I guess, bit of trainer knowledge question will be: are those good sparring partners to prepare you for a Kell Brook?
Absolutely not. Neither one of them fight anything like Kell Brook. You know, neither one of them. You know. Obviously, I know Jermell better than I do Rob Bryant, but I've seen Rob Bryant fight, and you know, he doesn't fight anything like Kell Brook. You know, but they be able to just use guys in the gym. You know, but to me, for a very important fight, you have to bring in similar opponents to know what you're facing when you get in there. You know, if they were to say, you know, well, we're going to use a guy like Triple G, that's perfect because, you know, Kell fights similar in that way, you know. But the rest of these guys, they want to come forward, but they're tall. You know, Jermell is way taller than Kell Brook. You know, so is Rob Bryant. So Errol is always punching up. Why would he be punching up when he should be punching down? So, you know, it's a lot of things I think you have to factor into it. But look, you know, obviously the trainer feels that the guys he already worked with is good enough for Errol to get ready for it, you know, which you know, some trainers do that all the time. And look, you know, he obviously feels that way. So, you know, I can't dispute him and who he's bringing in for sparring, but I'm saying I wouldn't bring somebody else in and I use guys that are already and working with, because I mean, understand also Jermell Charlo is fighting a right-hander. What about Jermell's career? You know, Jermell, you know, is getting ready to defend his title, you know, in a few weeks. But he's not fighting a southpaw. So why would he be having him to spar with Errol, and Errol fights nothing like the right-hander he's getting ready to fight?
But doesn't Earl switch to southpaw?
You know, everybody do the. Well, I mean, I don't know. I've never been in the gym with Errol, so I don't know if he switched to southpaw or not. I've never seen him fight right. I've never seen him fight orthodox.
All right. Well, listen, because you've been such a great guy, I'm going to pitch you a lob, right? I don't normally use other sports references because I don't watch them, but everyone know what a lob is. So I'm going to lob you this softball, and I want you to crack it out the park because I know that you and Jermall Charlo were sitting Saturday night grinning as you seen Daniel Jacobs truly become the miracle man, giving the world and the middleweight division the miracle blueprint on the most feared middleweight. Now, your guy, Jamal Charlo, has vacated his title and is moving up to 160. Are you looking for an in-between fight, or are you going straight for all the marbles versus the man that all of a sudden now looks vulnerable?
Well, Jamal is ranked number 2 by the WBC and number 3 by the IBF. So the WBC, maybe in about a week or two, are going to announce that Jamal Charlo will be fighting George Sebastian Hyland for the mandatory number 1 WBC middleweight title.
So you guys want to get in the mandatory spot for Triple G? You don't feel that you could just negotiate with Tom Loeffler to get that fight?
No, absolutely not, because, Triple G is already talking about fighting Billy Joe Saunders in June. And he wants to fight, he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez in September. So if we get the title and then get the number 1 position before September, then, we're going to mandate that, that we fight Triple G for the title. And he either fight us or have to vacate.
Ronnie, I got to follow up with this because everybody knows you have another guy in your stable who's been asking for the Golovkin fight a long time, right? And that's obviously Islandy Lara.
Oh, yeah.
Out of those 2 guys, who do you think will I guess has a better chance to get in the ring with him? Because obviously Lara has not fought at middleweight yet, but he has been more vocal about facing him, calling him out publicly,
Yeah, absolutely. But they don't want to fight Lara. I think just watching, the Daniel Jacobs fight, you see when Danny turned southpaw, Triple G had so much problems with a guy that's not really a southpaw.
Oh my God, so Ronnie, this is where people say I'm disrespectful. This is where people say I'm disrespectful because I'm cutting you off. But I've heard so many people say that Jacobs gave Golovkin issues when he turned southpaw. But when he turned southpaw, that's when he got knocked down. How could you give a guy problems who knocks you down? The minute you turn southpaw, he knocks you down. How'd you give him problems?
Well, I think what you have to understand is, you got to watch some of the rounds. Of course, he got hit, he got dropped. Okay. But, it was a flash knockdown. It was, Danny was more off balance than him getting hit solid. He didn't get hit solid and get knocked down. He was trying to back up. You could see Danny, obviously, really, he was trying to emulate a southpaw, and he did a decent job of it, but he didn't do, a perfect job of being a southpaw. And his foot got tangled when he got hit with the right hand. Of course, if you are balanced, and the strong guy hits you, he's going to drop you. But Danny wasn't hurt. He wasn't shooken. If he was, he wouldn't have turned back southpaw right after that. And it kept fighting southpaw. And Triple G couldn't touch him. He couldn't hit him. But so the point to that is, imagine Islandy Lara, who's a natural southpaw, throwing punches at Triple G, and he don't know where the punches are coming from.
Well, I guess we kind of asked you everything we can ask. I mean, I love that you said you feel that Jamal needs to be a mandatory because you feel that Golovkin would essentially, you're not saying it, but correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying they're going to duck him. They're going to go on to bigger things like Billy Joe and Canelo, and they don't want a Jamal Charlo who is, not as big a fish to fry as the other 2 names, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I think with Billy Joe Saunders, the only reason he want to fight him is because he has the WBO title. That's the only, he wants to be undisputed middleweight champion. And, that's a goal of his. And I understand that, so we can't be mandatory before June. So there's nothing we can do about that. But here's the flip side of that. We're going to probably fight Hyland in either April, May, or June. May or June. We're going to probably fight Hyland for the number 1 position. Once we get to the number 1 position, look, the WBC has a mandate. You either fight or you give up the belt. That's it.
No, I hear you, Ronnie, but I do actually have one more question because speaking about Lara, we saw, fuck, I have a name blank in my head. Went to Germany. I'm sorry about that. Demetrius Andrade, right? We saw him go to Germany against Jack Colclay and not look very good. Is that a fight that's you think still going to happen with Lara this year, upcoming, or do you think that maybe Andrade, after not looking great, is going to look elsewhere?
Well, I don't think Demetrius wants to look elsewhere. It's funny about Demetrius. He's a really good fighter, man. You can't take anything away from him because the guy can really fight. The problem is, when he fights, he talks a lot, but he doesn't fight. He had a contract. He had a signed contract to fight Jermell Charlo a few years ago, a couple of years ago. And the week of the fight, he pulls out because, he was deciding whether he wanted to go with Rock Nation or stay with Artipalula, and Joe DeGuardia. So, now he's suing Rock Nation because, they told him they were going to give him money not to take the fight, and when he didn't take the fight, but still he was under promotional agreements with his promoters, and now he's trying to sue them because they told him not to fight. So go figure, man, with this guy. And then he don't fight for a year, then he comes back, fights one fight, and then demands that he fights the best guys out there. So I don't know. I mean, look, Lara will fight anybody. It doesn't make a difference who they put in front of him. Lara calls out the best guys. And Demetrius say he wants to fight Lara, but every time something comes up, then he goes and fight somebody else. So I don't know, man. The fight can definitely be made because I know Showtime, they like Demetrius and they like Lara. So they like both guys, but the problem is never on anybody else's end but theirs. So I don't know if they ask for too much money or what the case is, but they have problems over there, and until they straighten their problems out, we're going to continue to fight and try to fight the best guys out there. But Lara has definitely been calling out Triple G for a while now, and the phone hadn't rang yet. So because they don't want to fight Lara. So and Lara would fight him at 160, no catch weight, not nothing.
Oh my God, Ronnie, I want to let you go so bad, but if I don't ask you this question, my co-host will say this for years to come. For the people like me, right? The people like me that beat the drum, till my hands bleed for Lara, right? And him getting an opportunity at Triple G because he's obviously verbally calling him out. My co-host rebuts me by saying, he's never fought at 160. Why don't he get ranked at 160 before he calls out the top guy in the division? And I say, well, look, he's been with every name at 54. Doesn't his name, his resume, value an automatic opportunity at the next division based on lineage, everything that he's done, everyone he's been in with? And the Triple G fans say, no, he's never fought anybody. Get ranked. He fought a ride by in Florida. Please, Lara's boring. What the hell does Lara have to do to get a fight with Triple G?
Well, I tell you like this, man. Because Lara is a world champion, he doesn't have to fight. He could go up to 168 or to 175 and fight for a title because he's already a world champion. So that takes precedence over everything. He doesn't have to fight at that weight in order to get a world title fight. This has been going on since the history of boxing. When you're already a champion, you don't have to stand in line. You don't have to be a mandatory for somebody to fight them. So, look at all you have to do is go back and look at Miguel Cotto. When he fought Sergio Martinez. He had never fought at middleweight before. He went up from welterweight to fight him at 160, and he won the title. But he didn't want to defend it at 160. He wanted to defend it at 155. Canelo Alvarez went up and fought Miguel Cotto. He had never fought at 160 either, but he was middleweight champion of the world. So why is it a problem for Alexander Lara when everybody else is doing it?
Why is Jermell why is he doing what it takes to get in a mandatory position to fight Golovkin if all else fails? Instead, like Ness said, it was jokingly like it looks, and I get it. And Lara is a very accomplished fighter, and he did give Canelo a tough fight where a lot of the public did thought that he beat Canelo. But why? And I said this jokingly, after going down to South Florida and beating a rabbi, is the public now saying this really talented boxer who's been dangerous at 154 should get a shot at the best 160-pounder on earth?
Because he's the only one calling him out. Your fighter is alleging that.
Listen. This is how big of a fan he is of your fighter, Ronnie. He doesn't even let you answer your own question.
I mean, Ronnie, isn't it true? I mean, if you're saying no one wants to fight you, but you got a guy right here at the top of the mountain screaming on a megaphone, "Hey, I want to fight!" I don't understand.
Well, as I said before, man, Lara will fight anybody. I remember back when you guys tried to remember, and nobody wanted to fight Paul Williams. Nobody. And then here's Alexander Lara. Not only did he fight him, he beat him. And they stole a decision from him. The same thing that they did when he fought Canelo. They stole a decision from him. So, how much more proof do you need that Alexander Lara is one of the best fighters in the world? You don't need that proof. He's already showed it. Just look at his record. Look at all the guys he's fought. But, here's the thing with Jamal. Nobody, Jamal don't have the same resume as Alexander Lara. So, Jamal wants to fight his way into contention and say, what, look, if he calls out Triple G, nobody want to hear it. Nobody want to hear because they say, well, who have you fought? What big names have you fought that's on your resume? And he doesn't have a name like Alexander Lara has on his resume. So, but understand something. Look, he was champion at 154 pounds. He bypassed so many of the other 160 pounds to get to number 2 in the WBC to be able to fight for the mandatory. See, that's the power of a champion. So now he has to prove himself at 160 pounds. So that's boxing. That's the way it works. You prove yourself in this sport. So I can say that Canelo Alvarez never proved himself, but people would tell me I'm crazy. But he gets all the big fights, or so-called big fights. So why can't Lara do the same thing?
Oh my God, Ronnie, we're never gonna let you go because now I want to talk actual boxing.
Let's talk, man. Come on.
All right, well, let's do it. I want to talk actual boxing because, thinking of Jamal Charlo versus Gennady Golovkin, I don't think it'll be the same fight. I'm sorry. I want to see how you seen the fight with Jacobs versus Golovkin because, MD, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamal is not as much of a mover as Daniel Jacobs was. So it would be more of a stationary target for a Gennady Golovkin, right?
Listen, just like Lara, I want to see Jamal fight at 160, and if his power and his skills are real, then right, I will say that it'll be a good competitive fight. So until he beats Highland,
his power and skills are definitely real.
No, listen, at 154, right?
Jamal, it's very few people thought Jamal was gonna beat Julian Williams. Very few people.
I picked him.
Why you think
we both picked him. we both picked him.
Yeah, but okay, but you a handful of people that picked Jamal to even do this, and it's like I told everybody before the fight. Julian Williams never fought anybody. He never fought anybody. I said everybody that Jamal beat can beat everybody that Julian beat, and people told me I was crazy. And I said, look, you guys are going to see the real Jamal Charlo. You're going to see him. But look, the difference between Jamal Charlo and Danny Jacobs is the jab. The jab is so different. Jamal has one of the most powerful. His jab is like a right hand. You know, as you guys have seen, look, Julius' old trainer even said he never recovered from the knockdown in the second round. But the knockdown was by a jab, not by a right hand, a left hook, not by what everybody calls power punches. It was from a jab. So that's just let you know the difference right there. You know, and Dana was hitting Triple G with the jab. Trust me, if Danny can hit Triple G with the jab, Jamal is going to kill Triple G with the jab. And Jamal is going to hit his own jab. And everybody's going to respect that. I'm telling you.
Oh, man, Ronnie.
So, you know, and that, you know,
I love it. I love it. You know how many headlines you gave us? People are going to love this interview. I just want to again reiterate how much we appreciate your time coming on here and talking some great boxing, you know, putting the smack down on my co-host who's hated on Laura for so long. He's just entered the Thunderdome with a world-renowned trainer.
Ronnie,
yes.
Ronnie, I'm not hating. I'm just being objective. Like, and don't get me wrong. Laura's a great fighter, but I just, like I just said, going down to South Florida and beating a rabbi does not warrant you. Like, and you know how, Ronnie, this sport is. It's what have you done for me lately? And you understand that, right? That what Laura did to.
But, you know, a lot of people said he wasn't going to beat Angola, and you know, he fought Angola.
Paul Williams.
He got dropped, but you know, yeah, Paul Williams too.
Yeah, he beat Paul Williams. Everybody who watches boxing, you know, realizes that.
You know, yeah, but you know, and I'm just saying, man, Lava doesn't have a fan-friendly style, but he gets the work done. He gets the job done, and that's what's important in the sport. You know, I remember when people used to talk about Muhammad Ali. Now they call him the greatest of all times, but Lava has the same style, but now he's not. Nobody wants to watch it. What? That's crazy. But did you see how many people watch when he fought the rabbi? Did you see the numbers on that?
Yeah, the rabbi. I know the rabbi must bring somewhat a fan base, right? As well.
What? But everybody watch. Huh?
No, the numbers did well. No, I'm just kidding with you, Ronnie. No, listen, and the reason I said that is because I do hold Lara to a very high standard, and I didn't think that the rabbi belonged in the ring with him. That's my opinion, because Lara is a great fighter, a great talent.
But he can't get anyone else to get in the ring. We got two guys, quote unquote, that are hard, that it's hard to get fights. And you don't want to be, you know, campaigning for Triple G to get an act. I mean, let's be honest here, Ronnie. I'm pitching you another fucking softball. Let's be honest. If Triple G beats Islandri Lara, isn't Islandri Lara the best freaking name on his resume to date? To date, who would be the best name? Is it Daniel?
Absolutely.
Based on accomplishments, Lara would be the trophy name.
But then why doesn't Lara try to fight Jacobs, who some people believe beat Golovkin? Maybe if Golovkin's ducking him and Golovkin doesn't want to fight him, why don't fight a guy and beat him better than Golovkin did, and then show that at middleweight your skills are still going to be there, your chin's still going to be there, your power's still going to be there.
Now why would Lara have to fight Jacobs now when Jacobs had the opportunity to win? All he had to do was ball up and say, you know what, I'm going for it. You know, I mean, he had a chance to win the fight, and he blew it because he didn't want to engage. He didn't want to engage in the fight. You know, all he had to do was engage in the fight. He could have won the fight. But now you're saying Lara got to beat Jacob in order to beat Golovkin. Why do Lara have to fight Jacobs now? Why can't he just go and fight Triple G?
Because the Triple G fans want to put roadblocks.
How much more does Lara? How much more does Lara have to prove, man?
Ronnie, you've been in the sport of boxing.
Lara, the only fighter in the world, has to prove anything.
No, and Ronnie, you've been in the sport a long time, and you're extremely knowledgeable. But you know that this boxing is not fair. So I get where you're coming from, but I also see the other side of the argument that, you know, it's just, you know, you have to do more as of right now to get in the ring with Golovkin. But again, Ronnie, we really appreciate the amount of time you spent with us on the show. You've given us great interaction. We love having you on and really appreciate that. So from all of the people listening, we all thank you for this interview.
But Ronnie, based off what he said, knowing boxing isn't fair, so what is Laura to do now, honestly?
Oh my, he's so obsessed with Laura. He can't just be thank you as well.
No, I just don't want to. I want to give him the stage to speak before we end the interview.
Well, I tell you like this. You know, Errol Law, he wants to fight. He only fought one time last year. He's already fought once this year already. He wants to fight twice more this year. If he can't get Golovkin, if he can't get one of the big fights, then he's going to continue to defend his title in the junior middleweight division. He wants to fight one of the champions in the junior middleweight division, you know. And, you know, he just wants, you know, he say, you know, look, if I can't get Canelo, if I can't get Cotto, if I can't get Golovkin, who people say are the three best guys out there, then I got to, Laura has a family also. He has to work, he has to feed his family. So he has to continue to fight. He's going to fight whoever the top guy is that's out there in his division. That's what he's going to do. And if he could get one of the champions in the ring, that's what he's going to do. He's going to continue to fight until he gets the big fights that he wants.
Well, Ronnie, again, we want to thank you. This is about the 8th time we've thanked you, but this time we're really going to let you go. No more softballs, no more sneaky questions. Thanks again. I hope you enjoy your day, and you know, keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate all the time.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
All right, Matthew. Thank you for the connection. Wow, that was a
1 second before we talk about that. You know how you guys could really thank us is please hit thumbs up, right? For getting Ronnie Shields on for like 45, 50 minutes and him giving us breaking news and all these, you know, Ness asked good questions. I thought I did decent questions. So please hit thumbs up, share, and like, and that would be appreciated.
MD, they said, why did you try to close the interview with Ronnie? It's because, you know, we were both noticing that it was 50 minutes that we had him on, and you know, we don't ever want to take that much time. He did seem, you know, friendly and like it was okay, but you never know what they're doing. Remember, they're an hour behind in Houston, Texas, and he trains a lot of fighters. So MD and I were conversing in our private chat. He was just taking my lead. We do have a lot of callers, MD, but I know that you have other things to do.
Yeah, I might have to leave earlier, but I mean, I could stay on for a second. But yeah, and it's because we want Ronnie Shields to come back, and we respect the time that he gives us, and we try to be professional about it. But I know, and listen, that's how it works sometimes. We didn't expect to have him on this long or plan to have him this on, but Ness was starting to get some, you know, good questions, good leverage, and it just went like that way. Everyone remembers the.
Stuff though, because you know, think about it. How much would we been arguing, let's say 6 months from now, you know, when Jermall Charlo wants a shot at Gennady, but you know what, we're gonna get off topic. This is definitely for later on tonight's show. This is a good topic because, you know, like all the questions are answered there. They have a game plan and they have a trajectory of how to get to that. They understand that they're not the big fish. I love everything that he said. I think it's time to open up the phone lines, but you can go if you have anything on your chest you want to get off before I do open up. Matt, you're also been there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be here for a second, but yeah, we should get to the callers. But I'll be here for a second. I can sit for a second, but if you guys you could follow me at BoxingMD1 on Twitter if I just magically leave. But yeah, go ahead.
Matt, if you want to say anything, I know you've been on hold doing the producing thing. Great job, by the way. Thank you for the connection with Ronnie Shields, world-renowned trainer. Later today, this video and interview will be edited down by Jeremy Flanagan, just isolating these separate portions. We'll do a Triple G, Jermall Charlo. We'll do Errol Spence, you know, and Ronnie Shields' thoughts on Errol Spence, just to condense it so you could find it simpler. But Matt, any thoughts on everything that you've been? I mean, man, you've been the only one able to just listen.
Yeah.
And you know, so what did you think?
Dude, breaking news: Jermall Charlo versus Jorge Highland. You know, like Sebastian Highland. Like that's a hipster's fight right there.
It's so funny you mentioned that guy because we were just saying.
Ness, you used to laugh at Golovkin. Highland, you go, ha! Did you not say that? Yes. No.
Yeah, and I also said we've been hearing about this guy for like 3 years, but we've never seen him fight. I know Matthew Macklin lost to him, but we never seen him fight. So
he's good. He's good.
He's got to fight now. He's got to fight that we'll actually see on television.
Matt, he's good.
He's not the goods, but he's definitely good. He's definitely top 15 in my opinion.
All right.
Like he's definitely gonna be a good.
Look, I mean,
Carlos at the division.
I don't care if it was Sebastian Hyland or any other person. The fact is that he's setting out to seek Golovkin. He wants to be. He's trying to become mandatory in 2 sanctioning bodies, buddy. That is balls.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what I said Lara should have done if he wanted to face Golovkin.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. Laura has the argument that I got name.
But his logic is but he said any champion at a lower weight class has the right to fight a champion at a larger weight class. Based on his logic, when Tony Bellew won that belt, he had the right to go face Klitschko, and people would laugh it off. I mean, I'm just saying, like Ronnie Shields, like
No. Let's not laugh it off. Let's dissect it a bit more. If Tony Bellew looked the way that, let's say, Roy Jones looked at 175 when he moved up, then people wouldn't have laughed it off. That's
but Roy Jones Jr. fought not Andy Ruiz. Yeah, which was the worst champion at heavyweight. And we all know that.
It was, but he was still a big heavyweight, and Roy was perceived the favorite because of how good he looked. So he was still perceived the favorite 25 pounds above.
He didn't face Lennox Lewis.
No, he did not.
And I think people would expect him to get knocked the fuck out against Lennox Lewis, to keep it realness.
But again, Lennox Lewis wasn't claiming not to get fights. That's what, like, you keep forgetting that. You got a guy saying he can't get fights, and here we are trying to fight you for 2 years. But look, this is about Errol Spence. Matt, anything that he said about Errol Spence, about the weight, the fact that he's 30 pounds, the fact that one day on the big night, that could be versus Kell Brook. He can't make the weight. I mean, it was just so much.
I briefly just want to say that if anyone complained about Jacob skipping that second day weigh-in because he was going to weigh 20 pounds over 160, you guys better be bitching like a motherfucker about Errol Spence being 30 pounds over. Have to be consistent. Now, I don't care.
No, you don't, because Errol Spence has been sanctioned in the IBF for very long, so he's going to do the 10-day weigh-in in the next day.
That's a new thing, right?
So much for the division that they're too big for the division. Well, we have, in a sense, actually 2 guys in this fight that are too big for this division, cutting an excess of 25, 30 pounds at least. That should be of some concern for some people for a variety of reasons.
Very true. Look, let's open up these phone lines. This is a fight where you're definitely going to need to get your scorecards, because Earl thinks he's going to knock out Kell Brook. Kell Brook thinks he's going to knock out Earl. I mean, I was already recommended a fight, MD. They said we should watch Errol Spence versus Lardy in the 5th round, 5 seconds, I think, in, or 5 seconds before the bell's about to ring. Errol Spence is rocked. And after that moment, he starts to fight on the back foot. So maybe that's a fight we need to do.
He was getting hit clean by Bundu before he slept him. So I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but so was Kell Brook being hit clean by Carson Jones before. I
agree.
So what we are gonna do is, like we always do, we recommend an app that I use myself.
Fight fans, don't leave the decision in the hands of the judges. Download the Throwdown scoring app and receive live scoring, CompuBox stats, boxing predictions from other users around the world. Head over to your iPhone App Store or your Google Play Store and download it absolutely free.
Don't be that guy that says someone won, but you don't even know how or what round or nothing.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Hands of Stone in the UK. Listen, we're giving everybody 1 minute. It was too much that took place in this interview with Ronnie Shields. We're really all over the place. A little bit of Triple G, a little bit of Errol Spence. I mean, where do you want to take it?
Yeah, hello. I just want to say, Derrick James impressed the hell out of me, man. Derrick and Errol Spence both gave Kell Brook and his trainer a big fat L on the press conference. I mean, Derrick came in with all that knowledge. He done his homework. He knew all the losses and the wins that Brook's opponents had. and I couldn't have done a better job myself.
Yeah, he brought up everything. And if you go through Kell Brook's resume, but this is why I say it's resume versus eye test here. We can't go off a resume anymore. Kell Brook's proven that he's beyond resume, and he's also proven that he gets up for the big fights. He did good versus Sinchenko. He did good versus Sean Porter. He did fairly decent in some people's eyes versus Triple G. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess, at this point.
You're serious? You're serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Some people think he did good.
I mean, Feather Fist poorly beats that Savchenko guy, so I mean, I wouldn't really name that. And I just want to say, am I the only one who thinks Derrick James sounds like a mix between Muhammad Ali and James Toney?
No, well, that I don't know. I would have to look into it. But listen, Hands of Stone, we're giving out those minutes, and you have just wasted yours. Let's go to Robert in the UK. Talk to me. Roberto. Just listening at work, buddy? Honk if it's right. All right, well, let's go to our ringer in the UK, Blackface.
Yeah, respect to everyone listening in the past, present, or future. I'm in the car right now.
Yo, so you really gonna do this one on speakerphone, Blackface, just because you're driving? At least close your window. Do us that favor.
Yeah, it's closed. I don't do 60 on 60. I mean, you know, my apologies for any audio issues that you may encounter during this call, but I just wanted to say that Errol Spence is not the best fighter Kell Brook's ever faced. That's disrespectful to GG. He's a solidified champion at this time. You can't disrespect him like that. Maybe Spence is the one with the most potential. I'll give him that, but he's not the best. He's just probably got the most potential. But given that Spence is a favourite over here with the betting gods, he's at minus 138, which I think is kind of crazy if you ask me. But he is a clear favourite right now, which I think is kind of funny. But yeah, man, I just thought I'd call in on my way back to the crib. I've only got 20 minutes left to get back to the crib, so yeah, I'll check out the calls that you do later on and any shows that you do later on tonight. That's my call.
All right, no daytime outro, no problem. Let's get out to some alumni. Phone lines are lit.
I told y'all a long time ago, the Kirkland will go down 3 rounds.
Next, I got milk, baby.
Yeah, man, it's the milkman. So check it. You know, this is going to be a fight that is going to be very even. You have one guy who, you know, I guess the angle is he's gone up, he's fought, you know, the beast at 160 and he did all right. But then you have the young up and coming, maybe the next big thing in the welterweight division. So it's going to be even, man. As far as the eye is concerned, you know, it's been guys who have broken orbital bones before and bounced back. I mean, Briggs broke his when he fought Klitschko. He's still hanging out there. Donaire, he got his fracture when he fought Darchinyan the second time. Garcia broke Salido, so he's still fighting. So it's, you know, I say it's a 50-50 chance the eye plays a part. I think they stopped it early enough so it won't be an issue. So I think we'll get a good fight that doesn't get hindered by a bad eye. So I don't know, man. It's 50-50, man. That's my call.
All right, Milkman, thank you for calling in. If you like Milkman's intro, we got our own producer around here. Name is Dollar DiBiase. Find him on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and get yourself an intro, man. Let's get the show right. I mean, get yourself right. Let's head on out to Marcus in Washington, D.C. We're giving out minutes, so make your minute count.
Hey, skip me, Ness. Come back in one call, Ness.
All right. We're going out to Bakersfield. Blind Man Brad, how you doing, brother? Did you enjoy that interview? And what is your thoughts? Is Errol Spence truly the best opponent that Kell Brook has faced yet? Blind Man Brad. T in Toronto, you heard the question. What's your thoughts? T?
Please tell me Block Talk isn't down.
All right, well, check it out for me. I'm going to get out to Scorsese. Talk to me.
Yeah, man, I really hope I hope Kell Brook orbital bone is sensitive as a clitoris. I mean it too, bro. I hope he get his face broke again. I don't want to see this dude in the welterweight division pussyfooting around no more. I mean, how the fuck you can't make a damn fight with Amir Khan? Like, how hard is that to do? To just say I'm about to go knock a glass off the shelf, you know? Like, come on, bro. Like, nobody should have time for this no more. Just get rid of him. Earl go over there. He look taller than him.
Yo, I don't.
You
Wait a
know?
minute. Wait a minute, Scott. What are you talking about? Why are you mad at Kell Brook for not making a fight with Amir Khan? Like,
No. Listen. Kell Brook just stalling a career. Like, he's just been a wasted champion. He got 4
but
defenses.
why are you thinking about the past? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm just trying to understand you. He just fought Triple G.
You can't move me off this. You can't move me off this. He went on a suicide mission to get away from the fact that he didn't want to lose fair fights. He wanted to get a payday. The man, look, I don't care that people calling me a prick. In the chat, they can say what they want. I hope Errol Spence go over there and break the one that's broke already, and the other one that ain't been harmed yet. Dude can get the fuck up out of here, bro. Like, he been one of the worst champions. I don't want to see if it's gonna continue. Hey, look, he just wasted time to fight. Dude, Errol Spence been on the shelf trying to get this fight. Fought every other mandatory. Been a bum. Been a waste of our time, bro. Don't give him a second chance. I hope Spence jump on this dude and man, I'm talking about beat the shit out of him.
Whoa! Cut it. We're giving out minutes, man. This guy's always negative. Jeez Louise. T from Toronto, man down. Brad and then Bakersfield, man down. Let's see if boxing knowledgeist. Yes, sir. We got a connection. Talk to us, brother. You're on. 1 minute. Go.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, what's up, man? What's up with y'all, man? Hey, I definitely think Errol Spence is definitely, man, his best opponent to date. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, when you really look at Kell Brook's resume, all he got is like one name that's the name that's gonna get him over having a better resume with Errol Spence, and that's Shawn Porter. Because when you take away the Shawn Porter win and you look at all the names that Kell Brook got, and you compare them to all the names that Errol Spence has, man, you can have an argument that Errol Spence got a better resume. It's just that Shawn Porter fight is the significant fight that got him over, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his resume is not that impressive. You know what I mean? It's actually, the first 20 fights is actually horrible. You know what I'm saying? But I think he had him shook up in a press conference, man. He trying to psych himself out, man. But it seems like Errol Spence, he all business, man. And he ain't worried about none of that, man. And I just hope that, you know, once he takes this strap off this boy, man, that they, you know what I'm saying, he just be an active champion. Hey, what's the odds now, man? Real quick.
Matt, find out the odds. We'll get it to the boxingologist. We're going to keep these phone lines moving. We're giving out a 1 minute. We're going to head out to Kansas City to talk with the Mac.
Yo, what's up, man? How y'all doing? First and foremost, I wanna eat some crow because I said Triple G was gonna get him out in like the 8th round, but he didn't. He got the decision. Kell Brook, I mean, like the other caller said, why he can't fight Amir Khan? You know, what is he doing? And then with Errol Spence, he's gonna get him out of there. Like the other guy said, Porter was his toughest fight. You're not gonna be able to hold Spence like you did Porter. So what you gonna do? What's he gonna do? Them Brits, boy, they like to take some punishment. What do y'all? You know, it's just crazy. It really is. Welterweight is heating up. Middleweight is heating up. Triple G. They say he's getting exposed. He's getting those wins. Until somebody beat him, then he's exposed. I don't want to hear that no more.
God damn, you sound like Virgil Hunter. Yo, was you in Virgil?
I know you always say that.
What the?
Hey, you always say that when I call and I'm calm. When I'm calm, you always say I'm Virgil Hunter. Hey, and then speaking of Virgil Hunter, you know, Andre
right there at the end.
Wilder. I mean, the list goes on, man. These guys until somebody beat them, man. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You know, the devil's always in the detail.
Yo,
Let's do it again.
you seriously, you seriously need to like find a Virgil Hunter story and just read the quotes, man. We could do a fucking phone jack
real?
and shit, man. What? We could fucking call Andre with you on the phone. He might think you're Virgil, bro. You sound so much. Holy smokes.
Yo, listen, I told you, man, you know, like I said, I've been away for a while, man. I've been working, man. The schedule's just crazy. So every time y'all pop up on the thing, I always miss it. Or the line is so packed, it's jammed.
But you listening to the podcast, right? Because you know you can catch us on Stitcher, iTunes. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm only on YouTube, and then like I work, so when I catch it, I try to
What kind
call
of
in.
phone you got?
Be
What kind of
jam-packed,
phone
like,
you got? What kind of phone? Let me help you out. What kind of phone do you have?
Well, the thing is, when this number is, this is a house number.
Oh,
This
but
is
do you
house
have a
number. I
do you
don't
have a
call from my cell
smartphone?
phone.
You don't have a smartphone? Like an iPhone
Nah,
or
I'm old school,
Android?
straight flip. No.
Damn, flip
Nope,
phone.
straight flip.
Well, you
old school.
I'm old school.
Yeah, you would need to go to a computer then, if you're not home. But listen,
Okay,
man,
yeah, I got a laptop and I got a tablet.
Yeah, well then if you got a laptop, just go to Blog Talk or YouTube. We're always there, man, and you get the notification. But City Mac, I'm gonna get to some other people. We're gonna
And very fast. I have the odds. Errol Spence right now, and it varies from site to site. Errol Spence is a slight favorite at -135, and Kell Brook's at +105.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a young fella, and he comes from the Magnolia.
You got your block on fire, you remain in the cheese. Until the moment you expire, you know what it is. You make it dirty, now it's something you handle your business. You don't be crying, and it's something.
Ooh, we sound people. I'm out here hustling a dig on the interstate, but what's good? What's good? Now, you know about this truck life, but I'm out here trying to get it. But look, man, see, bro, I like that. I like that press conference, bro. Errol Spence mean business, dog, and all the hype everybody talking about Spence. That's well deserved hype. I see. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't just Floyd Mayweather like I see it in another shoe. It's Freddie Roach and a whole lot of trainers and a whole lot of his peers. They're the one hyping him up. They know what he can do. They saw what he can do in the gym. You know what I'm saying? He got the pedigree behind it. Man down in Sheffield. It's gonna be a man down. I'm gonna call back later tonight because I ain't got that much time right now, but that's my call. Man down, baby.
All right, NL, thanks for calling in, brother. Let's keep these phone lines moving. We're going to Kenny and Charlotte. You're up. 1 minute.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Listen, man. I heard what the one guy was saying that Bundu was hitting Errol Spence a lot, and I just wanted to comment on that because what a lot of people don't understand is that when you're aggressive and when you're fighting somebody where you feel like they don't pose a threat, of course they're going to test you a few times. You know what I mean? Same thing with Terrence Crawford. When Terrence Crawford fought Victor Postal, you know what I mean? He didn't get hit at all because he was boxing him. But when he fought against I forgot the guy, Hondu or something like that, he was getting hit a little bit because he was being aggressive. You know what I mean? If Spence wants to box these guys, he can box them. He's very, very gifted. He's very, very skilled. I think he's the most skilled in the entire division. I don't see nobody more skilled and more disciplined than Errol Spence. So
And Kenny and Charlotte dropped off. Let's keep these phone lines moving. They are lit up. 142-5569-5241. Press 1 if you want to talk. International callers, just add Nestor Gibbs, NESTOR-GIBBS on Skype. Let's jump out from Charlotte. What was that? North Carolina? No. Yeah. No, right? Charlotte, Carolina? I don't know. Somebody. North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, all right. Oh, Bakersfield is back. Blind Man Brad, you fell asleep on us. You got 1 minute.
Yeah, I got into a fight with Siri and she won, man. I couldn't unmute the phone. My bad.
No problem.
All right, guys. Well, anyway, like the guy said in the interview, Mr. Shields, he was saying that Laurel should fight Triple G. Well, I agree that if Danny Garcia can fight Keith Thurman, then why not, right? And
90 seconds.
the easiest is the best matchups here. We got Errol Spence here. We got the Anthony Joshua fight, and we got the Canelo versus Chavez Jr. fight. Which one do you think is the most evenly matched?
Evenly matched. Wow. I mean, some would say that Earl is just as green as Anthony Joshua, and some would say that, you know, Kell Brook has more experience. So I don't know.
60 seconds.
Wow. I mean,
Errol Spence, Kell Brook is more evenly matched.
really? What about Joshua Klitschko?
That's the second run. That's the runner-up. But I think that Klitschko obviously has the
Proven
greater
more.
skills, but I think that Klitschko obviously has some durability issues and some age issues that he's going to have to address in that fight.
Okay. So you mean in terms of youth, right?
In terms of pure boxing skill, what's more evenly matched? It's Errol Spence, Kell Brook.
Well, there you go, Bakersfield. Brad, thanks for calling in. We're going to go out to 770-449. Is this your first time calling in? Who is this? First time caller?
Oh, yeah, first time caller.
How long have you been listening, my friend?
First time caller.
10 seconds.
How long have you been listening?
Hello?
Yes.
2 months.
2 months. 2 months. All right. Well, we have a tradition around here. We like to play this first time caller intro. You introduce yourself. Let us know your name, where you are calling from, and you got 1 minute due to the spontaneity of this show to get into your call with, I don't know, resume versus eye test. Is Errol Spence really the best opponent that Kell Brook has faced till date? That's what his trainer's saying. We debated it a little bit with Ronnie Shields, world-renowned trainer. So you let us know.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut,
BZ from Atlanta, ATL, East Side.
BZ?
So yeah, BZ.
BZ from the East Side of Atlanta. Talk to us.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to say, I don't know, like, if the question was the opposite way around. I mean, Kell Brook is the best opponent Errol Spence fought, but for Spence, I don't know, because, like, I don't know what Spence is right now, you know. Kell Brook's beating champions. Kell Brook, I mean, I think Kell Brook's proven. Spence isn't proven. So, like, after the fight, I can maybe say, yeah, that's his best opponent. But right now, I'm not even sure.
All right, brother. Well, listen, make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube so you get those notifications. Our normal show is today at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we discuss, review all this weekend's fights, make our picks. Definitely you should subscribe to see. We got a good little boxing community. Stick around for some other callers, my friend. We're going to get to M Stacks. M Stacks, where are you calling in from?
You.
M Stacks, where are you calling in from?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Where are you calling in from?
Virginia.
From what?
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Virginia, what's going on, brother?
Yeah. 757.
All right.
Nothing, man. I was calling. What's the topic? I'm just seeing Kell Brook punk ass up there.
Well, the topic is Derrick James is saying that Errol Spence Jr. is really the best opponent that Kell Brook has faced yet. So we're debating that. We had Ronnie Shields to give us his take on that earlier in the show. You could go back and listen to that later. And we've just been debating that. I mean, is he really the best opponent that Kell Brook has faced?
Skill-wise, I think so. I think he's more skilled than Sean Porter. I think he's more skilled than Gennady Golovkin. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. But he's coming off an annihilation from the best middleweight in the world. You know, let me eat my crow on that, because I said Jacobs would take it. But they can have that one though. They can have that one. I've seen enough from that guy. He got Charlo problems. So that's a different show. But Kell Brook, yeah, this will be his toughest test. I think it'll be his toughest test because of the fact that there's more on the line this time
than when he faced Gennady Golovkin or Sean Porter. Sean Porter, he was just a contender. You know, you can get another title shot, but when you lose your belt, they always say it's worse not having it. I mean, not having it and losing it is worse than not having it ever at all. So I think this has more on the line. There's more pressure, and we'll see what kind of man he is. He took the fight. That's a start. Let's see if he sticks to his word. That's all I'm saying. Don't call off this fight.
You know, it's funny that he says that, Matt. I hope you got enough connection to give me your opinion of this, but we just seen Daniel Jacobs skip the next day weigh-in, and we debated it, contemplated whether or not it was a strategic move to get the better hand on Gennady Golovkin come fight night, and many now believe that was exactly the case. Does Kell Brook do the same? Does Kell Brook not make the weight, loses the belt, hold on, loses the belt on the scales, but the fight goes on? Because guess what? If he loses the belt on the scales, Earl still has to get the win in order to get the belt. So you still got to beat the bigger man that didn't make weight. Or do you say, hey, he didn't make weight, fuck that, call it off, no one gets paid, you wasted a fight camp? Oh my God, that's a show in itself. Let's get to some calls, but give me your opinion.
I don't think Kell Brook does that, to be honest. He's been in the IBF for a very long
heard
time.
Ronnie Shields, or did you not listen? Sometimes you've been making weight for so long that in the biggest night of your life, you can't make it.
No, that's true, but we don't know that yet.
Especially the guy who moved up to 160 and now has to come back down to 147.
But with Daniel Jacobs, it was different. That was his first fight ever with the IBF and going for the IBF belt. That was the first time he ever had to deal with that rehydration clause on the second day weigh-in. Kell Brook's been doing that his whole career. And he's had how many title fights where he's done this already? So, I mean...
Yeah, but he's never had a fight where he moved up to 160 then done this.
That's true, but you don't think he was always weighing that much?
No, I don't think he tried to put on muscle. This is what Ronnie Shields is saying. Listen, they built him up to be a middleweight because they thought he could win. He says you don't take a fight 2 divisions above unless you think you could win. They were banking on him being faster, but they built him up so much that he slowed down. He got beat up, and now he has to come back down to this weight where he wasn't really expecting it.
Yeah, that's if you think that he bulked up. I don't necessarily think that he bulked up. I just think that he was always that weight. And he cut weight to make 147. That's just my personal opinion.
You know what, Matt?
Y'all getting it next, boy.
El Dude in California. What's going on, my man?
Hey, what's up, brothers? How's it going? Right here, just chilling, listening to the boxing voice, like always, enjoying the show. I'm going to go in and out real quick, like Floyd Mayweather, man. In my opinion, man, not to disrespect anybody, but I don't think Errol Spence is going to last. You know, you don't have a chance with Kell Brook. Kell Brook has some skills. He's in and out. Kell Brook, man, he has a footwork. Errol Spence Jr., man, he's a flat-footed counterpuncher, man. He's not even a brawler. Humble weights. He counterpunches punching bags. And he's going to have trouble against a man that's going to be inside and out at his hometown advantage. He's going to be using the ring against him. And Kell Brook, man, he throws nice combinations. Errol Spence, all he does is throw these wild hooks. He's not even accurate with the next hook. And he catches these punching bags. He caught a broken Algeria. Algeria was already broken. He was not the same after Ruslan. He was not the same after Pacquiao. And Bundu is a C-class fighter, man. Errol Spence Jr., in my opinion, he hasn't even been battle-tested. I got Kell Brook by unanimous slaughter, Holmes, and at his hometown. Just super like that, Holmes, you know. But enjoying the show like always, just right here chilling, man.
Damn. All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. That's another one in the books. We'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern time for our regularly scheduled show. We will be previewing all this week's upcoming fights. Matt, very good show, man. Thanks again. On location, the hipster working hard. TBV expanding. We got our LA guy now, the hipster out there for this Glenn Tapia
Jason Quigley fight.
Exactly. And I'm looking at it right here, right? Because I'm pulling up the schedule to see what do we got on the docket, man. And it's Linares is the biggest thing. Linares Corolla, really. This weekend. It's on Showtime, too. So
great fight.
It will get our attention without a doubt. Nico Hernandez, the Olympian, is going to be making his, I believe, debut, right? Or fighting again.
His debut.
Okay, damn, and it's a 6-rounder. He's moving fast. A debut at 6 rounds. Wow. Okay. Nobody on that Linares undercard of note.
No one on that undercard. But we do have a Marlon Esparza, who was, I believe, a bronze medal winner in the Olympics.
Yeah, making her debut.
We have another big female Olympic boxer coming into her pro debut.
Her division isn't Clarissa's, right?
No, but I think it might be Katie Taylor's.
Okay. Really quick, shout out to Bruce. His boy Anthony Carpensi's back in action. So you know. He's the A side, right? He's going to be taking on Scott Burrell in a 10-round junior welterweight. Oh, that's not even Carpensi. This is someone else. Oh, take that back, Bruce. Damn, there's really nobody to talk about. We're going to talk Jason Quigley and Anthony Corolla and Jorge Linares later on at 7 p.m. Eastern, and probably just some more, Golovkin news. I mean, that I guess that Jamal Charlo breaking news is something we need to put on one of our top 5 topics to see what the world thinks about the plan. I love the plan. I mean, Jamal Charlo, let's applaud him. Let's just applaud him. That is the way you go about making a fight, for sure. That is the way you go about making a fight. Listen, I want to remind everyone that we will soon be opening up the TBV fan experience, where we choose 2 lucky guys to fly out with us to Florida.
There's already like 5 people that have donated.
Oh, really? Let me see.
There's like 5 or 6 people that have donated. Like Santiago's already I think done it. Like there's a bunch, like it's already like going. I don't know how that's happening. Is it live yet?
I'm sure you're not giving out the URL to all your little buddies, trying to get your cornerman in there so you could be good.
Hey man, it's a raffle. Everyone has a chance.
Yeah, I know. No, it's only one. I think Santiago's the only one.
Oh, okay. He said there was 5 when he did it.
Really? I don't know. I guess I got to keep refreshing. My page has been stuck. But yeah, we will be having a TBV fan experience where we will fly out. Oh, it's updated. I think it's time to show this. I love Jose. Hey, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going out. This is TBV Border Wars. Look at that. Check it out. You got Canadian Jose taking on Boxing MD, TBV unification bout. Oh, let's turn this off. Let's see what's going on here. What do we got? Because, I don't know what's going on. Okay, we seen this yesterday, right? Want to see the Is there anything else on there? Is he just showing the same? All right. Yeah, no, it's all the same. All right. Oh, no, they did update it a little. All right. Well, I thought it was something new, but hey, it's working. We're out. We're live. All you need to know is that we're live, and we're going to be selecting 2 lucky listeners to fly out with us and join in all the festivities. As you can see, it would be similar to this one right here, where we were, this is in the gym of Keith Thurman. Let me just screen share that again. And we held our own. You're going to see Keith right there, right about now. That's Keith right there, who was viewing Matt while he took on Boxing MD. As you can see, there was a size difference. So Canadian Jose has took it upon himself to say, look, I don't like it. I don't like that. I want a piece. I'm the man with all the belts, and the belts that we speak of, there are the belts right there, but this is called Border Wars. And, Mario's Mexican, and he's going up against right here, Enrique Church, the Puerto Rican. Look, I'm so tall, they cut me off. This is bullshit, Jose. Bullshit. I mean, what's up with that, man? Yo, Mario's pretty jacked up. I don't know. It's going to be a tough fight for Enrique. I don't think Enrique's viewed this page. But here goes Matt's new opponent. This is Steven Calderon, our producer. As you can see, he's in fine shape right there. And Matt on the left is out here partying all night instead of, staying in shape like he should be. But it's going to be all-inclusive, airfare and hotel included. You're going to spend 3 days hanging out with TBV. and it only costs you $50. And we're going to do this for 2 lucky winners. You'll be there with Lubin and other fighters as well. And then you'll get to watch what is looking to be a 5-fight card, because we're also going to have the drummer from Escape the Fate, who's going to be taking on Eddie from Las Vegas, our Las Vegas correspondent. And Alex Doomsday Lioness, who you see in the ring, will be taking on Fernando Pimentel from behind the gloves. So a little cross promotion there. And you know what I say, if he dies, right? You know what I mean? I don't know, but they're all signing waivers, I'll tell you that. Listen, I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. We will be back at 7 p.m. So join us for sure. If you're listening to this, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It just tells me, Matt, and the rest of the guys you're really enjoying what we're doing. We've promised to double the amount of content, and we've obviously done that and more. So if you want more content than this, we've put out a bunch of build-up promotional videos for these upcoming fights. You can catch Jose already training, catch Matt sparring. Matt, you're actually getting a lot of compliments. People, the funny thing is, people are like, yo, you look better in this sparring. So there you go.
Why do you think it was leaked?
There you go, leak sparring. You can catch some buildup of casual also coming out the gym, calling out Mario. But definitely a lot of exclusive footage on Patreon, plus different perks, man, ringers, boomerangs, things like that. Get yourself a TBV shirt, cheaper than you're going to get it anywhere else. Speaking of that, we already started shipping out rewards. Everyone who has signed up from yesterday back has received. Some of you already received multiple awards. So, pat yourselves on the back for being great patrons of the Boxing Voice. Matt, let the world know where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radio, on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Patreon, etc. Peace. Can't wait to give you guys some good content on Jason Quigley and Clint Tapia tonight.
That's right. Later.